Hello everyone, I'm Max Da Vià, I'm CMO at 34Bit Things. Today I'm going to talk to you about our company, who we are, about our team, the way we work. Then I will spend a few words on the releases of last year, and then we'll deep dive into the Redoubt franchise and particularly into Redoubt Space Assault. This is our latest take into the Redoubt franchise. First, let me introduce my company. We are one of the biggest independent game studio in Italy. We are around 30 people. That for the average size of the Italian market is pretty good number. Don't try to see who I am in the picture because I'm not there. It was taken before I joined the company. And the company was founded in 2013 by 3 people, but thanks to the very good success of Redout Space Assault, they were able to escalate the size of the business as well as the size of the company and of the team in a few years. And now, as I said, we are one of the biggest independent studios in Italy. We have a clear mission and a clear vision. In particular, we want, as a vision, we want to be world-class provider of wonderful gaming experiences. We say world class because we really are targeting a worldwide audience. The main part of our sales come from US or from China, or a smaller part from Europe. In Italy is just a slice of this smaller part. So we are Italians, but as I say, we are really trying to create worldwide games that are appealing for our worldwide audience. In terms of vision, we like to create gaming experience that are accessible but engaging and available on every device. A few words on the team. If you take a look at the pie on the left, you will see that we do almost everything internally. We have game designers, we have 3D artists, programmer, audio experts, concept artists, management, and also a marketing department. I am the marketing director, and part of our team comprehends also a social media manager. This is because we self-launch our games very often, so we have all the skills and all the people needed for this kind of approach. Also, we almost never outsource because we really want to be sure that we grant the quality of our games. Also, all the marketing materials, means trailers, banners, social media assets, etc., are done internally. If you take a look at the pie on the right, in terms of experience, just yellow plus orange means more than 50%, and this means that 50% of our people has at least 9 or more years of experience in the role. We also hired people from other big studios, that people who used to work on AAA games, in order to have veterans in our team and to provide the best gaming experience we can to our players. We work taking care of data. We are very much data driven, so this means that we analyze the analytics and all the information that come from people who play our games in order to improve what we do and also the following games. We also analyze this data in terms of sales and marketing because we really want to do every time the best we can. We also have hire directly people, and we don't outsource, as I say, because we want to be sure that the game, that everything we deliver has the level of quality we target. In terms of key success factors, these are just a few factors that for us are very relevant. We are very much focused on our fan base and dedicated. We interact with them in real time on all the social media channels. We have, as I said, we have a social media manager that interacts with them. We hear our feedback. We appreciate also the suggestion that they gave us, and we use all this kind of information to improve our games. We also have a very strong relationship with several influencers that we use to launch the games. As many of you will know, now influencers are very relevant in the gaming arena, and thanks to our connection, we are able to work with them and to engage them on new projects. We have a specific brand identity. We like to create games that are accessible with a high skill ceiling, so to engage a wide audience, newbies as well as veterans. In terms of retention, we are focused on a game as a service model. in order to grant mid and long-term revenues. Our games are mainly for PC and consoles, and they are all premium, but in addition to premium games, we also launch often premium DLCs in order to capitalize on the existing user base and to achieve higher revenues in order, but also to provide a better gaming experience, expanding the game and giving players more things to more things to explore, or new items, or new vehicles, in order really to grant them also a longer gaming experience. In terms of markets, we also try to look for new markets and to spot new market opportunities to focus on when we launch games. In terms of releases, in 2019 we finally ported Redoubt for the Switch. That was the only platform in which it wasn't available. Now it is. We launch God of Duty. That is our take to a classic genre, that is arena shooter. Is a very fast-paced game, like old school arena shooters, but this is also a good example when I say that we also try to innovate. There are several arena shooters, some of them are very close one to the other. In this case, we introduce gods as main characters for this game in order to create something different. There are 30 different gods, with each one with her own skin, inspired by character as the Robocop or Sailor Moon or Clint Eastwood, basically taking characters from mangas, from video games, for popular movies, and transforming them into skin for the gods. The game is really viral. If you type God of Duty on YouTube, you will really find hundreds of videos created by fans worldwide that played this game and had fun with their friends. Starting from the video that we did with our influencers, then, as I said, the game became viral, and now there are several videos. We also gave the game. The game is premium. We gave the game for free for a couple of weeks in March to support the stay-at-home campaign. And also last year we launched Space Assault on Apple Arcade Service. I won't spend too much time on this now because of course it's part of the following slides. Let's say that it is what we consider to be the trademarks of the original Redoubt, so speed, adrenaline, and detailed graphics, but in a different environment, familiar to people who like the Redoubt franchise, but it's a space shooter, so different from the original Redoubt, that is a space racing game. We consider Redoubt a franchise, and this is now I will tell you why. But first, let's start taking a look at the trailer of the original Redoubt. If you should know, Redoubt, it's a tribute to classic AG space racing games of the past, as WipeOut and F-Zero. This because we knew that a lot of people were engaged into this kind of games, but there were no new chapters and no opportunities to play this game with next-gen hardware and with revised gameplay, with new graphics, to go even faster. So this is why we decided to create Redoubt. We thought that there was a good opportunity in the market that was not served, and we had our take on the space racing game with very good results. Now you will see the trailer. This is Redoubt. We Our claim is race faster than ever because we proud ourselves that we created the fastest game ever made. The game was launched for PC in 2016. In 2017 was ported for PS4 and Xbox One. If you take a look at the reviews on Steam, more than 80% are positive, but also Metascore is above 80. This is because, as I said in the beginning, we are very much focused on quality. We are loyal to our fan base, and we want to deliver games just when we think that they have the level of quality that they deserve. The game was very successful, and in 2017 was awarded as the best Italian video game by IDEA, that is the Italian Interactive Digital Entertainment Association. But overall, Redoubt won 14 international awards, so I mean this was appreciated all over the world, not only by players but also by critics. These are just a few awards that we won for with Redoubt. And let's talk about the franchise strategy. We consider that Redoubt has a specific trademarks that we consider key of this game, that are speed, fast-paced action, very detailed graphics, but also adrenaline. And these are at the core of the Redoubt franchise. We think that these features in the space setting can be introduced also in different kinds of games, so not only racing games, and this is why we created Redoubt Space Assault, that is a space shooter. We think that there is a kind of overlap in the gray area between people who like space racing game and space shooters, so keeping the same look and feel of the original Redoubt, but as I said, in a different environment, gave us the opportunity to create Redoubt Space Assault. And we want, so now we are also targeting a wider audience, not only people who like space racing game, but also space shooters. And so we consider this a kind of vertical expansion of the franchise, but also because when we created the first Redoubt, there was a very good plot behind. We consider Redoubt a kind of space opera. And with the first Redoubt, we just developed one of the chapter of this space opera, and with Redoubt Space Assault, we are developing another chapter that is also, in terms of plot, a prequel to the original Redoubt, and expands this saga. But we have also different chapters ready for other games of the franchise, of this franchise. In terms of target market, we are of course targeting the Redoubt fan base. We are talking more than 1 million people. Also hardcore space shooter players, so people who like challenging space shooters, but especially in the beginning, in the first missions, Redoubt Space Assault is easy, so can be also appealing for a kind of wider audience, so people who love space shooters in general that are less skilled, also families, kids, also the exposure of this game on the Apple Arcade service helped us to introduce Redoubt franchise to a wider audience, and so we think that this game can be really appealing for a consistent and relevant target. Redoubt Space Assault is a space shooter, as I said, and puts the player in control of a space fighter during the period of the colonization. The colonization, because it's part of the plot is part of the Redoubt saga, and in particular, a player have to fight against this evil colonization in a fast and adrenalinic single-player game. A few words on the plot. The year is it's like 300, little more than 300 years from now. The Earth is worn out, polluted, and humans need to leave the Earth to find new planets. And unfortunately, some people may say that if we continue like this, it won't take 300 years to look for another planet. Anyway, this we will see. In this case, as I said, the player is Leon Barrer, that first was an officer of this evil corporation that manages the routes between Earth and Mars, in which there is a new human colony. But now, then he just decided to join the rebels and to fight against this corporation. Players will have the chance to upgrade all the parts of their fighter, so wings, shields, changing several type of weapons, and the way in which they change and they customize their vehicle will have a huge impact in the way in which they will be able to play. There will be also powerful enemies and vessels, and especially at the end of each chapter there will be a boss fight, like in the classic space shooters. Let me show you the trailer.
Today, we fight for our Genesis brothers and sisters. Today, we stand as the last shred of humanity. Today, we will win or die for the sake of our own freedom.
The game is divided into chapters, and each chapter features several missions. Some missions are more based on fighting, as you saw in the trailer, so with a lot of bullets, speed, very challenging fight. Some other are more based on exploration, so basically you have to free roam this universe looking for specific items. Some others are more based on speed, so there are power-ups that will help players to move faster in this universe, and in this case, speed will be key. The game has a strong narrative, despite the fact that it is a space shooter. It has a consistent narrative. Of course, player can decide to spend more time reading all the dialogues, or just to go straight to the battle as they wish. When we started to work on Redout Space Assault, the idea was to launch a game for PC consoles. Then we knew that Apple was interested in having games for the launch of their Apple Arcade service. We presented Space Assault, they liked it. So this is why we focused on the porting for Apple devices. It was included for us. It was an honor because it was also included into the 100 titles that Apple selected for the launch of their arcade service. But for us, it was even better when we were invited to attend their PR event in November 2019 in London. There were only 7 studios invited. And for us was a very good opportunity because we had the chance to meet the journalists with them. Basically, the journalists first had to meet the Apple Arcade guys that were explaining the service, the characteristics of this amazing initiative, and then there were every studio had a specific corner in which the game was on display, so journalists had the chance to play our game and to have more news about that. I think that for Apple was also interesting Redout Space Assault because it's very different from several other games that they have on the platform. They made an amazing choice of titles, very different one from the other. Several are casual. Redout Space Assault is a little bit more kind of mid-core game, if you will, so we think that is very complementary to several other games that are available on their service. In terms of production, as I said, when we started to create the game, it was PC consoles and was meant to be played with a pad, while now I had to work on touchscreen device. I mean, you can play this game with for instance, an iPhone using an external pad, but we know that the major part of players use just touchscreen controls, so we really had to rearrange, to change completely the controls, but also to revise the gameplay in order to make the best ever playing experience using this kind of devices. And also we wanted to create a consistent gaming experience regardless of the device, so on smartphone, tablets, Apple TV or Mac. Also it was key the cloud saving, because players are enabled to continue their game also switching from one device to the other. They are able to continue the match exactly when they left. And also we wanted to support a wide range of devices, even the older, and we wanted to be sure that the game fluidity and the speed that are the core of the Redout franchise were satisfactory even on older devices. A few words on this franchise. Overall, we spent more than 3 million in terms of development for the Space Assault for the Apple plus PC and consoles, around 1 million for porting from PC and on PC and console in particular. And we released several DLCs, but 3 that add more features, more chapters and missions on the Apple Arcade service. If you take a look also at the reviews on Apple Arcade, you will see that Redoubt Space Assault has 4.5 out of 5 in terms of reviews. This means that we really focus on the quality also on this device, because as I say, for us quality is key for every game that we created. A few artworks just to give you an idea of the look and feel of the game. As I said, this is a space setting. We created several vessels, and also our designers and our artists had a lot of freedom to think about new spaceships that may be interesting to populate and to create an engaging universe. This, for instance, is an online casino. It's called New Macau, and is part of the story. This is another example of graphics. As I say, for us it's key also to provide engaging and very detailed graphic together with speed and adrenaline. In terms of launch strategy, we launched the game in November together at the PR, basically at the Apple PR event. We had the press release, but we made also a digital marketing campaign very much focused on working with influencers as well as on social media, using both organic and paid posts. Then we delivered 3 different DLCs, adding new chapters with missions, with enemies, weapons, etc. And for each of these DLCs, we invested in digital marketing, in particular with paid posting together with the organic one. But when we deliver new relevant contents, we also invest in terms of pay in order to reach a wider audience. Also, we worked with ambassadors. So, as I said, we have a very strong connection with several influencers, and we gave them videos and previews of materials in order for them to create their own materials that then they share with their community. The community was very much engaged and started spreading these contents on their social media accounts that helped us to reach even a wider audience, new players that then they discovered the materials created by the talents. So it's a kind of circle that we use to capitalize the most from the activities that we made. In terms of next steps, we are now going to launch Space Assault on PC and console. The game is almost ready for PC. It's a very advanced stage for console. Of course, we won't be just a porting, because we are working consistently on the graphics, on the gameplay, on everything in order to grant the best possible experience to players. In terms of release date, we don't have still a release date, because we are really evaluating different market opportunities and different timings. This is the end of my presentation. These are my contact info. Please feel free to reach out if you should have any kind of questions on the game, on the studio, also on other games. I'm always available, and thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope there will be the chance to meet in person soon. Cheers, and thank you again.